Thanks for joining me on the morning drive, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you are the President, Director, and CEO of Founders Metals.
That's right.
And we're gonna get to know a little bit more about your management background. We'll do that inside over like a drink.
Sounds good.
Right now, I'd like to just do a little spin and kind of talk capital structure.
Sure.
Cool?
Absolutely.
All right, let's not get into an accident and do a little morning drive.
Okay.
So, how many shares are outstanding right now?
I've got 43 million outstanding.
Fully diluted?
Fully diluted, we're about 51.
51.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the last financing terms?
Last financing terms was 20 cents with a 35 cent half warrant.
Okay, stock's trading at 30 cents.
We're trading at 30 cents right now, yes.
So what was the market cap of the last round?
Pre-money, we were 4.5 million, and right now we're sitting around $12 million.
Okay, and the seed round, what was the market cap of that?
Market cap there was around 5 million. Financing was at 50 cents for that original round.
And that original round, how long ago was that?
That was in February 2021.
So, I mean, you probably got some reasonably happy shareholders given where the market's been. A lot of the juniors have been hammered.
Yeah.
So people are kind of okay with everything right now?
Yeah, I think everything's been going really well. And we did the last round. The share price, we saw a pretty big bump initially, and things have kind of leveled out, and we've stayed pretty strong here. So I think people right now are just waiting to see the next step, which is get some drilling done and get some results back.
Okay. So. If I'm looking at a pie chart, what percentage of the chart out of 100 would be insiders? What would be institutions?
It's pretty close to a third insiders, institutions, and say high net worth and retail investors right now.
Okay, so 30% insiders, friends and family, 30% institutions, and 30% high net worth.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. And when did this go? So I think I already asked you this, but when did this go public?
It was 2021, early 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trading wise, how is the stock trading? Are you kind of a little bit on the tight side of things and not much trading, or?
The structure is very tight. Although we've seen a lot of turnover since coming back trading after closing the transaction and this latest financing.
Yeah.
So actually, volume's been quite good.
Yeah.
Been very strong.
Okay.
We were basically had the stock halted for about 5 months while we were doing the transaction. So there's a gap in the history.
Yeah.
But then we've been back since March, and it's gone really well.
And you've got somewhere around $2 million in the till?
A little over 2 million is what we've got, yeah.
Okay, so you're probably going to raise some money soon? Or?
We've got enough to kind of see out our drill plans of up to 10,000 meters this year. But we will be, that is the plan, to raise some money down the road. Want to see a little bit more share price appreciation, and then look to raise money to be able to continuously drill going forward.
Okay. Now, when you do, when you are going to reach out for money, where are some of the places that you will go for that? Is it you just kind of flow through here out of Vancouver, or like?
Well, because we're in a country we don't have access to the flow through system, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But we'll obviously go back to our current shareholders, first, and see if they want to participate. And I think we'll get a lot of interest there, but I think after that it's on the next round looking more towards the institutional side, and we'll have some drill results and have de-risked the project even further. And I think it'll be an appealing option for institutions. So
why don't we go grab a coffee or a glass of water, whatever you want, and let's talk about how you got involved in the company, how you got this role with the company. Let's highlight some of the management, and then maybe we'll talk about the projects.
Sounds great.
Cool?
Yeah, awesome.
Colin,
yeah.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, with Founders, I started originally as part of the technical team, working on one of the earlier projects, and then I kind of got into the project development side of things and looking for opportunities, and I came across the Antino project in Suriname.
Right.
Kind of went through the whole process of negotiating the deal, acquiring it, and as part of that, came on board as CEO to take it forward.
Wow. So take me through how you kind of found that project then.
Well, actually, I think it was just a right place, right time situation, as it usually is. There's a company that had projects in the Guyana Shield. They needed a little bit of cash basically to keep their flagship operation going.
Yeah.
They already spent a good deal of money, a couple $100,000 US, doing the due diligence work and getting this Antino project going, because it was meant to be, I think, kind of their next thing. And they needed money, and we were looking for a project, and we were able to work out a deal. And I think we came out with basically a turnkey project.
Nice. And so this would have been your first deal putting together yourself?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit more about your background and sort of, so obviously you're a geologist.
I'm a geologist. I have a degree in business as well.
Okay.
Did that first.
Yeah. So you did the business degree first?
Did the business degree first, worked in banking for a little while, and then basically took a little bit of time off and
said,
came
I want
back
to
and
chase some rocks.
geology. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think I've interviewed anyone who started in business and then went to geology.
Yeah.
Maybe the opposite. That's pretty cool. So do you enjoy the geology part of it, or?
I love geology. Yeah. I mean, I came into it, started undergrad when I was 26, and undergrad, grad school, really thoroughly enjoyed all the fieldwork aspects of it and getting out there and understanding the rocks and putting the story together. But kind of coming into this role or getting involved with this group, really started to see the benefits of having the business background as well. And really, passions become putting these projects together, working them, and seeing things kind of evolve as a company. So it's a nice blend, I guess.
Yeah. So I know sometimes as mining investors say, be careful with companies that have a CEO who's a geologist. But I think at this particular example, I think that bucks that, because if you were interested in business first and you have a passion for that and the rocks, and that can be combined, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that's the case. Certainly coming, transitioning away from doing just geology work.
Yeah.
There was certainly a transition, understanding more the capital market side of it, and moving away from the very heavily technical side that is the world of a geologist.
Right.
And being able to properly distill that geologic information down to something that everyone can understand and actually talk about. I think it's kind of worked out.
Who else on the management team would you like to sort of talk about?
I think one of the biggest players on the team, and the fellow I've replaced as CEO, is John Williamson. He's currently the CEO of Benchmark Metals. But he's been a great mentor. He's in the same office as I am in Edmonton, and it's a really big benefit to have him there around. It's a lot of support, and he brings a lot to the project as well, like having gone from the earliest stage greenfields exploration through all the way through development and production on numerous projects, and it's adds a lot to the team.
What about the technical team?
The technical side, we have a fantastic technical side. I think in general we kind of pride ourselves on that. A lot of younger people, master's, PhD backgrounds. We're able to really get into all of the new AI material. A lot of people with a kind of computer science background as well. And,
Let's get into that, because I ask companies all the time on the technical side of things. Are there things that you're taking advantage of now? So you just mentioned AI.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe walk us through some of the things that you're using to try to get a competitive advantage.
I mean, what I see in the AI space, or what we're looking at, is using it for lineament analysis with LiDAR data, or other data sets, magnetics, what have you. There's also opportunity with drill databases. So at Antino, we've got over 30,000 meters of historic drilling to work with, 35,000 auger geochemical samples. There's a big data set, and so you're able to kind of feed information into it, and it still takes a lot of, you need a person. It doesn't just do the job for you.
Yeah. To interpret.
That's right. To interpret it, but also to kind of tweak things as you move along. You have to have someone that understands the geology working with the computer.
Okay. Do you want to get into the project now, or?
Sure. If you want to.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, what was it about this project that you said, okay, I understand the business part of it, but what is it that got you excited?
I mean, it's the scale, the potential scale for mineralization, and just some of the historic grades are phenomenal.
What kind of grades are it?
The big headliner is 62 meters at 9.5 grams. Got 10 meters at 33. All kinds of, there's a couple meter hits of over 150 grams. Like there's some really
big
impressive numbers, and over a scale that in total is almost 8 kilometers of strike length of gold mineralization. Historically, there's two kind of main areas that we're focused on for the drilling and exploration work. But in between there's more spaced out drilling. It still has gold hits, and then there's auger sampling over the property that shows all kinds of mineralization along that trend and along some other trends that we hope to follow up on.
So the investors, the high net worth investors and some of the institutional players, what was the feedback you got from them? Like, what was the exciting part for them? Was it some of that drilling that you're talking about? Was it the potential, the location?
Yeah, I think like for investors, the big thing that people like is that it has that potential to be something really big. The 5 million plus ounce deposit, that potential is entirely there. We have an alluvial footprint, which is in terrains or in jungle terrains where you have this saprolite cover and lots of artisanal or small scale mining going on. The alluvial footprint is usually a pretty good indicator or a pretty good precursor to an eventual mine. You've got guys mining it at surface in the easier cover material. Usually there's rocks underneath that turn into a mine. And we see an alluvial footprint at Antino that's the same scale as the Marion mine that's in Suriname as well. Opened in 2019 and run by Newmont. 7 million ounces there.
So you've got majors in that area?
We do, yeah. There's Newmont has an operating mine, and then IM Gold just sold to Zijin Mining, the Roseville mine, which is a very big operation, over 13 million ounces.
Okay. So what's that country like to deal with, and the politics in that area? I mean, I hate to bring that up, but sometimes it plays a major role.
No, it does. I think it's an important question because a lot of people are familiar with Suriname or with the region in general. So Suriname is situated in the Guyana Shield. So you've got English Guyana to the west and French Guyana to the east. Suriname was formerly Dutch Guyana. It's about 600,000 people in the country. Most 300,000 live in the capital city of Paramaribo. As far as working there's a lot of development work, a lot of infrastructure development going on. They're next door neighbors to English Guyana, which has they've got the oil and gas story right now, incredible GDP growth and a lot of development happening in that country. And I think Suriname has similar discoveries in the oil and gas space, and I think they're looking to follow on the heels of the same developments happening in Guyana. So I think the mining sector kind of comes along with that. But as far as stability in the mining space, gold mining represents over 60% of the government's budget for things. So there's a lot of incentive for the government to kind of keep that space strong and to support miners. And
a lot of jobs. You create a lot of jobs there.
Creates a lot of jobs, creates a lot of revenue for the government. They signed some good deals with the majors that are in the country, contributing to infrastructure and development, be it roads or electricity, that sort of thing. So
let's talk about that. When infrastructure and this project.
Infrastructure in this project is really important. So we're located 270 kilometers basically into the jungle from the capital city. And that would be a problem if there wasn't already a pretty established infrastructure. And I say probably would be expensive. But we're in a very fortunate position that there's been mining in that area since the late 1800s. And so there's an established exploration camp. We have an over a kilometer long airstrip at camp. It's serviced by 2 different national airlines. So you can buy a commercial airline ticket to camp. And we use that for crew changes, for bringing supplies in and out, which brings the cost down. As far as heavy machinery or bringing equipment in or drills, the drills that we have en route to Suriname right now, when they land, we'll be barging them up the river. So there's barging right from the capital all the way up. It's about a 1.5 day trip. Takes you to landing on the property, and then we can bring the drills where we need to.
So when it comes to cost, Do you know what your cost per meter is right now?
Yeah, so we have a bit of a different approach there. We've purchased our own drills, and
It just makes more sense in that environment.
I think it makes more sense in that area. We've also, in our larger group, we've had success with that model in the past. So there's some experience there, and we have an experienced drill team, that's familiar with drilling in saprolite terrains. It's not an area that you'd want to, start out drilling in, but with the right crew, it really can make sense. And so, having our own drills and putting a team together, employing local operators as well as part of that team, we're looking at around $85 Canadian a meter for the drill costs.
And you own it.
And we own it.
That's pretty cheap,
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Comparatively, we receive quotes, for larger drill companies that were in the $180 to $220 US a meter range for that same service.
That's a big difference.
It's a very big difference.
Actually, I'm going to say that's the lowest amount I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But I'm not familiar with that jurisdiction per se, but definitely beats the Golden Triangle, which we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Well, we have the benefit of not needing helicopters, and
Yeah.
and we can drill year round. And
All right, Colin. So you have a ridiculously low cost per meter on the drill side, unheard of, frankly, which is amazing for you. What about assays, though?
Assays are a great part of the story. We've got a in-country Bureau Veritas certified lab that we're able to send samples to. They backhaul on the commercial flights, so it keeps costs down that way as far as transportation goes. Maintain chain of custody the whole way through, and then we're looking at turnaround times that are in some cases a week, but under 2 week turnaround time for assays for gold.
So again, unheard of.
Yeah.
And that's compliant with obviously it's compliant, but I'm just asking a question. Okay, so the exchanges, everything's good?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we still send samples to check labs, out of country. We follow all of those requirements, so everything would still qualify and will qualify for a 43-101 resource in the future.
So this is a great place to find a world-class deposit.
It's a fantastic place.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've covered a lot today. For someone that's looking to, add to their more speculative side of their portfolio, right? What would you say is the biggest value proposition right now looking forward?
I mean, I think right now it's where we're at in terms of market cap. The valuation right now is a good opportunity for people. The majority of shareholders actually got in the first round at 50 cents, at this latest round at 20, and now we're back up to 30 right now.
Right.
So we've seen some share price appreciation, but it's still a very tightly held structure. So we can see some movement, and on top of that, we're sitting on a project that has the potential for multi-million ounce gold deposit in a region that's known for very, very large deposits. And with that alluvial footprint and the active mining in the area, I think there's every opportunity that we're sitting on something really big. So it's a ability to get in very early at something that can be very, very big.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are you located from? What do you call home base?
Home is Edmonton for me.
Yeah.
For founders, we're split between Edmonton and Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you like to do to decompress? What are your hobbies?
Like doing some fishing and
Fishing?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah. I know it can be stressful, running a company, right? So it's like you got to take a little bit of a break sometimes.
You need to be able to decompress.
And you got a dog too.
I do, yeah. Blue Heeler.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I say we leave it here, and maybe we can get an update in the fall when maybe you've got some results and stuff like that. And because he did mention later on they're probably doing the financing. Where can people directly reach out to you if they want to get a hold of you?
If people want to get a hold of me on our website, access to our corporate presentation, contact information is all there for myself or for Dave Burwell, who's kind of heads up our investor relations piece.
So your email is on the site? Because I know a lot of companies have the info at.
My contact information is in the corporate presentation.
Got it, yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. Well, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And we'll hopefully catch up with you in the fall.
Absolutely.
All right.